Well, hello. It's good to have you here. It's been a long time coming, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
I know. Me too. Well, my first question before we get into the interview is really, I'd like to hear it from you. What do you do for a living?
I work as a singer and a songwriter.
Okay.
Yes. I have an album called Zilindile.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's just introduced himself, and maybe we need to take a peek into what he says when he says he works as a singer. So we talked earlier on about what you do for a living, and you told us you're a singer, and you just played us one song from your album. It's called Ismamangia. Can you tell us about this album, Simone?
This album I recorded in 2011, and then I released it in 2012. And then I pushed it in 2013. It did wonders. The name Zilindile, it's my mother's name.
Okay.
And as I was working as a backing vocalist, people like Sipoas would feature me on their shows, do the and people would ask, when is your album coming out? So now I thought, oh, Zilindile Zizwe.
Okay.
So now my mother's name and
and your job, your duty.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful album as well, and I mean, I think for me, I saw you in a very emotional occasion when we just lost to Max Ndambo, and you were singing his tribute, and I was totally moved, because for me it was like, there's Max, we're mourning his loss because of what the beautiful work that he did, and here you step in and say, I can do this, and I was thinking to myself, is he saying he can fill the shoes, but coming from KZN and being such a beautiful singer, where do you sing? I mean, what music genre?
I've been traveling as I was working as a backing vocalist. So jazz has been always my background and my playground, because I feel for each and every musician out there, I think we really need to use jazz as a playground and enhance who we are with it. I think it can go a long way. So as a man from KwaZulu-Natal, Eshowe, I grew up with Zulu indigenous music and Isayon, but the Zulu, in the Zulu region, when they sing Tilalele, Tilolo, So when I started to focus on this kind of music, wild music, I felt the need to always show where I come from.
Okay. And it sounds, it is very loud and clear. And I think we want to congratulate you on that achievement of staying true to your heritage. What is your worst fear before you take on the microphone?
The first note, what's going to happen on the first note, because for me the first note is everything. You can't think you'll impress people maybe in the middle of the song or around the bridge. Oh, I can hit it hard. No. The first note, I think you must be sold. So my worst fear is always the first note. Am I going to nail it the way I want it? Because even before you sing, you need to see it happening, in your head. So, yeah. Okay.
So, so this first note determines how you're going to sound in the rest of the song. I like that, because I think that's, that's where we catch you. We catch you very energetic as you walk in, and that's what was my first experience of you. I'd like to also talk about, you speak about representing your indigenous roots, and
yes.
I mean, you also maybe have a lot of other artists that inspired you.
Yes, especially Africans, because I love Africa. Okay, let me put it like this. I love KwaZulu, I love South Africa, and I love Africa and its people. So people like Self Keita, Richard Bona, Yusondo, they have inspired me a lot, because listening to them and following their journey, and I get inspired, because as an African, I feel the need of us going out there and do the music with the message so that we can change people's lives, because our job is not to keep up with kids. You know, let kids do what they're doing, but we really need to go out there with a strong message, and that will sell Africa to the world.
Couldn't agree more. You mentioned earlier that you traveled a lot, you know, and was it as a singer?
Yes, as a backing vocalist.
And where have you been? What, you know, when you picked up all the true reason why you should stay true to being African?
I went to Medium, where all the publishers and record companies they meet, talking about new stuff, and so in France. So I went there to do a tribute to Uma Miriam Makeba. Ubabthemba Mkhize was the musical director at that time. So, you know, seeing the response from the people and how they appreciate African music, it's amazing. We were with Umam Notendi. Yes. When she got on stage, it was amazing, man. You know, everyone was sitting down. They just came closer to the stage, and you know, it was like they were like a magnet. So that's when I realized we really need to love who we are, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with being an African. In fact, it's a blessing. God never made a mistake when He created Africa. Therefore, we should not try so hard to sound like Americans when we have umcebo in our hands. Yes.
Okay, I'll find the reason to use it. Tell us about another reason you're here today is because you're working with Kalmobeli. I'd like you to share how you met, because he shared his little story with us recently, you know.
I always organized my own shows. So I had a show at Baseline last year, and then he came to the show. In fact, there is a guy by the name of Tebu Homleko. He told him, hey, you need to see this guy. And then he came to the show. You know, from the beginning until the end, when I was watching the visuals, he was like sitting and he was shocked. And then after the show, he came to me and he said, I would love to work with you. I am going to record an album in Switzerland in September. It was 2013 then. Can you go with me? Would you please go with me, please? And I said, no, I don't see a problem with that. In fact, it's an honor because he's been around and he's a doctor now, you know, in music. For someone who never went to school like me and will get an invite like this, it's really an honor, and it's a mileage. It says a lot again about the indigenous music and the role that it can play in changing the music scene.
So what do you do then? You add your vocals to this beautiful bass and so
to this craziness.
To this I didn't want to be the one saying that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, and we're gonna hit it hard this evening at Vets.
How do you reach each other, if you were to describe it to us, so that we know, those of us that are going to the launch?
I tell my story, he tell his, and the name of the album is called Stories.
Stories.
Yes.
Okay. And the event is what time? Today at Vets.
Today at Vets Great Hall from 6 p.m. On the dot. We keep time there.
Oh, okay. Siyambongela kakhulu, you know, Bhuti wami, but I need to remind the listeners out there that it's on the dot at 6 o'clock. So you don't arrive at 6 for the show. You arrive way before then. Find a seat, because on the dot you keep time.
And find CDs and seats. Yeah.
Of course, the CDs will be sold out there. Yeah, it's exciting. Well, you know, before you step out, I know that we you know, you've got your own journey. You know, you're working with brilliant musicians such as Kesbert Naidu, as well as and Carl Shepard on this project together with Dr. Kalmobeli. And of course, you have your own journey. You've just played something from your album. Another international link is with Ivan Lins.
Yes.
How did this meeting happen?
Themba Mkhize again was asked to produce a song for Ivan Lins. And then we went there with other vocals like Bongani Masuku. We did the backings. And then Mkhize said, can you just do something on your own now on this song? And then they did it. And then he sent the files. And yes, to German, because the album was recorded in German. And then the response came back and said, no, we're going to use this. We need this on this album. And that's how I got featured in this album.
Stunning.
As Mbuso
Who
Khoza.
is Ivan Lins actually?
Ivan Lins is a producer, is a songwriter from Brazil, and he's been around for more than 20 years in the industry.
Yeah, I hear your gospel is coming to life. You know, you talk about finding Africa. Africa is also finding you, even in the diaspora. You know, with the sounds of Brazil, working with the likes of Ivan Lins. So we want to congratulate you and say you're quite blessed, as you said when you started.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Ivan Lins and the SWR Big Band.
Yes, Arake Tutu.
And people are saying they want to know where to get hold of this album.
It's not yet out. I just received a copy from German.
Okay.
But as soon as the album is in South Africa, definitely I'll make sure that I let you know.
Okay. And if you want to know if you are one of those that buys online, the track is called Arake Tutu.
Yes.
What does it mean?
It's Brazilian, man.
Okay. There's a tutu at the end. It kind of makes me feel at home. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Ivan Lins and the SWR Big Band, and it's got also a lady whose voice I absolutely admire, Paula Morenbaum, and there's Pratemba Mkwize, there's June Kraus, there's Potino, Wolfgang Hafner, and those are some of their talents on this big band that is like kind of huge, I suppose. You know, with the best of. And you just reminded me of Ivan Lins. So many places, so many spaces, so many artists. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm also working on my new album this year. Mbuso Khoza is coming soon.
Mbuso Khoza is coming soon. He's here, believe you me.
Yes, people must remember one name, Mbuso Khoza.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Brenda Sisani on Kaya FM 95.9.